Hi, Bill here with 30 Minute Woodshop. Thanks for joining. So today I want to show you how to make a really simple mitered box. Okay, we keep our receipts and things in a ceramic bowl that my wife has just kind of gotten tired of. She doesn't want it anymore. She wants something a little different, fancier. So this would work out perfectly for us. All right. So I got to have this piece of Gummy Cherry. So that's what they're calling it now. Basically what it is a piece of cherry that's not clear. So you can see it's got a lot of things going on here. It looks kind of cool. The other side's not bad either. So I don't know which side I'm going to use yet, but you know, and this is a salvage piece from an old bed actually. The reason, I'll tell you what, if you don't have a lot of money, go find old furniture, especially bedsteads, headboards and footboards. There's usually a fair amount of decent wood in there. This happens to be from a headboard, and you can see once they put the finish on it, right, you don't see all this weird stuff going on. It looks like a really nice piece. In reality, it's usually not the best wood in the world, but it still works. Now, it's going to work for me because this is what I want. So for the bottom, I'm using a piece of 1/4-inch plywood, pretty straightforward. And then for the top, I have this piece of spalted maple. So I'm actually building the entire box around this piece of spalted maple. And this is just going to be a drop-on, lift-off kind of top for me. So I want to use this. I want to maximize the use of the spalted maple because it's kind of cool, right? And so I think that'll be a pretty good contrast for top and the sides. Now, first thing I want to do, like always, go to the bottom, check out what I have down there for the links. You'll find a drawing or a dimension sketch of this little project. Easy to use, easy to follow. Run down there, click on that, take you to my website, pull the drawing down, and you can follow along. So the first thing we're going to do, all right, because of the way I have this piece of wood already set up, I'm going to cut a groove down here at the bottom that's going to fit my piece of 1/4-inch plywood. Now I'm doing that before I make any of their cuts. That way they're all in the same spot. All right, my groove will be constant throughout the entire thing. So let's go over to the table saw, make a groove, and then start cutting some miters. To get the groove set up, I'm using a set of brass setup blocks. Really, if you don't have a set, guys, you should really get a set. They're fairly inexpensive, and brass is softer than high-speed steel and far softer than carbide, so you won't nick your blades and things when you use these. But I'll put a link at the bottom to a set that I would recommend. But you can see I go from 1/8 inch to 1/2 inch, and I can do anything in between. So I've got it set up at this point with the fence 1/8 from the edge, because I want that 1/8 in the bottom, right? And 1/4-inch deep. Now I'm gonna have to make 2 passes. This is my 1/4-inch setup bar. I got to make 2 passes with this because this is only an eighth of an inch wide. So I'm going to run it through twice. So let's start making a cut. With a groove cut, the next thing I want to do is start cutting my 45s. Now I'm using a Wexy. What it does is it registers off the table. I set it to 0. I put it on the saw, crank until I get to 45.0, and I have a really nice 45-degree angle. Matter of fact, I'll put a link in the bottom. You guys can go ahead and find one of these. They are definitely a thing to have. So let's do some cutting. We're all sanded up with 320 grit, or down to 320 grit, so it's nice and really super smooth on all sides and edges. I've got it taped up for just so I can fold it up together and glue it. So let's get some glue going here. So all I'm going to do here, just drop some glue in these 45s. Then I'm going to bring it together and I'm going to bind it up. So now I've used the blue tape here just to keep the glue squeeze out to a minimum. And because I'm doing this on end grain, I'm going to give this a minute or two to soak in and probably add some more glue to it. Oh, there we go. Okay, worked out really well. I got nice tight joints everywhere. We'll let this thing sit for a couple hours. We'll be back. While we wait for this to dry, it's a great time to start working on the lid. Now, a couple ways you can do the lid. Obviously, you can put some hinges on this, you know, that kind of thing. You can make the lid slide into it. I'm going to actually make it lay on top. It's just going to be a lift-off lid. I kind of like that idea for what I'm using this for. But again, your choice what you want to do, but let's make this into a lift-off lid. So all I'm going to do here is I'm basically just going to cut some material out, create basically a recess around the edge. That's going to be able to fall into the box and keep the top from wandering around too much. And the way I'm doing that is with this Delta tenoning jig. Now, you don't need one of these. I happen to have one simply because I bought it a long time ago and I was doing a lot of furniture work, but it's a really handy jig. A little on the expensive side, but it's all cast iron, and I tell you what, I love this thing. It's one of those tools that's a very unique tool for a unique purpose. Most people don't need it. So anyway, let's go ahead and do this. So I've managed to cut this out here really nice. Works out really well. Fits perfectly. I also like the fact that I cut down the thickness here. It was looking a little chunky for me, so I think that's really good. Now I need to come up with some kind of handle for the top. So let me go rummage in one of my boxes and see what I find. All right, we're out of the clamps. Looking really good. I've done a little bit more sanding around the edges just to soften them. And I put on this little piece of walnut here. It's just a little block, just for a hand. And I really like the way this opens. I'm happy I didn't put on the hinge because I don't know that I would have liked the hinge. You know, I'm liking this a lot better. So next step is going to be throw on some boiled linseed oil. Let's keep working. So this is looking really good, I have to say. I like the way the BLO, the boiled linseed oil, is bringing out the color. This is a perfect project, and an easy and fast project too. All you need to do is make a couple 45s, you know, put a groove in the bottom for the bottom piece, and then fit the lid, because this is a lift-off lid. It makes it really easy. I don't have to worry about putting screws or anything, and it works out really well. This is going to be perfect for what we're doing. Now, like always, if you want a dimension sketch for this, go down here, 30minutewoodshop.com. All right, you can check that out in my blog, download that. Also, too, if you hit more as you go down below, you can find things like tools and things that I use. In case you're interested in those, check some of those links out. Some are kind of interesting. You might find some tools there you might want to use. So folks, on that note, hope you got something out of this. If you did, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And until next time, good making.